Hello friends, welcome to Inside Saiken Initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about India-Canada relations. And of course, we are going to also discuss about Khalistan and the Khalistan movement and what are the reasons related to Khalistani movement. Before we discuss the detailed analysis regarding this, first we will see the syllabus mapping, then we will go through the video components. Okay, first, syllabus mapping. It is related to Gender Studies Paper 2, that is International Relations. India and other country relations such as bilateral relations. Now, the video components. In this video, we are going to discuss about why this thing in news. You know students, Khalistani issue. Recently, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he made a comment that one of the separatist leader who supported the Khalistani movement, he was being assassinated in Canada, and Canadian Prime Minister was alleging that the forces behind that, they are related to India. So India responded very strongly in such a manner that Union government called Canadian diplomats and ordered them to leave the country within 5 days. So at this moment, the relationship between India and Canada are very tense. Now in this particular context, we are going to discuss about the India-Canada relations, and we will also discuss about what is this Khalistani movement, how this been evolved, and how the Khalistani movement related to Canada, then why this movement started. In this movement, there are certain important events were there, such as Anandpur Sahib resolution and Jarnail Singh Bindrawale, Operation Blue Star. We are going to discuss about these particular issues. Okay, these are the contents in this video. Now let us see this particular, in this video, we are going to discuss about Khalistan issue a lot. Khalistan issue is all about demanding for separate country among the Sikh-speaking population who are present in India as well as Pakistan. How this Khalistani movement originated and how it evolved, what were their demands, who were the important people behind this Khalistani movement, and how government suppressed this Khalistani movement, what were the consequences, we are going to discuss very soon. And one more thing, in this video we are also going to discuss about this, like British Columbia region in Canada. In British Columbia region in Canada, a sizable Sikh population is there. And students, around 2% of Canadian population are Sikh in nature. Okay, and Sikh population are the fastest growing religion in Canada. And Sikh community people, they occupied very prominent positions in the Canadian government. So obviously they are having their influence. Because of that, Canadian government here and there, it is supporting their cause, even though that is against the government of India. In that context, we have seen that Canadian Prime Minister supported the rally which organized to support the Khalistan. So these are the issues are there. Meanwhile, I have one question to you students. Tell me, Komagatu Maru ship incident. Komagatu Maru ship incident. Komagatu Maru ship incident. It was happened in which year? Which year? And tell me one more thing. As we are discussing about Canada, what were the 5 Great Lakes? What were the 5 Great Lakes present between the Canada and USA? What were they? What were they? Next, context. What is the context? Like I said earlier, Canadian Prime Minister was making comments. What were they? First you have to know Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He was making a comment that they have credible information, that is Indian government agents, that means Indian government involved in the killing of the Sikh separatist. Who was that person? Hardeep Singh Nijjar. He was wanted by government of India for a conspiracy behind a conspiracy to kill a priest in Jalandhar. Because of that, government of India issued lookout notice as well. And he was being shot down in the June of this year. He was shot down outside of Gurudwara in Surrey in Canada. So Canadian Prime Minister, he made very reckless comments about government of India. Because of that, government of India responded in a very strict manner and asked those diplomats to leave. If you remember students, Canada follows the federal government with unitary in nature. Majority of the provisions in Indian constitution which support the unitary government, they were borrowed from the Canadian government. Best example, appointment of governor by union government. That feature which reflecting the union feature, that was borrowed from the Canada. Next, now We'll see the Khalistani movement. We'll try to understand. Khalistani movement is a Sikh separatist movement. They demanded for separate nation for the Sikh speaking population. And if you remember rightly, while referring the Article 1, B.R. Ambedkar clearly mentioned that India is a country with, like indestructible union with the destructible states. So union cannot be destructed. So they demanded that a separate homeland for Sikhs, separate sovereign state, Khalistan, land of Khalisa in Punjab region. So government responded. Government crushed down this demand by conducting Operation Blue Star in 1984 and Operation Black Thunder in 1986 and 1988. Unfortunately, after the Operation Blue Star, Indira Gandhi was assassinated, and one more unfortunate incident was happened after her assassinated. Communal riots were happened in Delhi, and there were targeted violence was happened against the Sikh population. It was also unwarranted, of course. Next, this Operation Blue Star is all about suppressing the Khalistani movement, which was operated by Bhindranwala from Golden Temple. And this Khalistan movement was banned in India because it is affecting the national security. This movement got support not only in North India, it also got support even from countries like USA, Canada, and UK, mainly UK and Canada, where sizable Sikh population was there. Next, Khalistan and Canada. In Canada, according to Canadian 2021 census, around 2.1% of the population belong to the Sikh religion. After India, Canada is the home to the largest population of Sikh. And even recently, one of the Canadian magazine, what was the name of the magazine? Sanj Savera. This magazine it published a very controversial article on the Indira Gandhi, and it celebrated the Indira Gandhi assassination day. That was very unfortunate. That was the 31st October. Okay. This magazine generally receives the Canadian government support. Even Canadian government give advertisement also in this magazine. So, what kind of message it is giving? Canadian government is indirectly behind this separatist movement, and it is showing very complacence towards this Khalistani movement. Next, recently in Brompton, in one of the city in Canada, pro-Khalistani organization, Sikhs for Justice, they held a rally regarding the referendum on Khalistan. The students, a referendum means taking people opinion on particular policy. That is a referendum. If you are taking people opinion on the sovereignty, that is known as plebiscite. We conducted plebiscite in Junagadh. Okay, even India is ready to conduct plebiscite in Jammu Kashmir also. Next, historical events responsible for Khalistan. How the Khalistani movement got evolved. Before independence, actually, it was rooted back to Singh Sabha movement. Singh Sabha movement, it was started in 1873 in place called Amritsar. What were the main objective of Singh Sabha movement? It was all about promoting the Western education among the Sikh population, as well as to prohibit or to stop the conversion of Sikhs into other religion. That is about to counter the proselytizing activities of Christian missionaries as well as Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj and Muslim Maulvis on Sikh population. So to counter that. So these are the two objectives of the Singh Sabha movement. Later, from Singh Sabha movement, Akali movement is an offshoot of Singh Sabha movement. This Akali movement is all about, it demanded the reforms of Gurudwaras. Students, Gurudwaras are the religious places of Sikhs. Because of the Gurudwaras are occupied by the corrupt Mahants. Here, Mahants are nothing but the people, who are in charge of the Gurudwara. As these were led by the corrupt Mahants, to free the Gurudwara from corrupt Mahants, this Akali movement was started. Both Singh Sabha movement, SSM, as well as this Akali movement, gradually it led to the Sikh nationalism. After we got independence, after independence till that time, majority of the Punjab, which was present in the erstwhile India, it was divided among the Pakistan as well as India. And the Punjab, this king, capital city Lahore, it went to Pakistan. And the birthplace of Guru Nanak also, it went to Pakistan. So at that time, slowly there was a demand that the places originally belonged to the Sikh kingdom all those places should come under one particular rule. So from there, they demanded the Khalistan, separate one. In the same lines, they initially demanded for a separate state of Punjabi-speaking population. That was not materialized in 1956, but later in 1966, Punjab trifurcated into Hindi-speaking people Haryana, Punjabi-speaking people Punjab, and the hilly areas Himachal Pradesh. Later, they passed the Anandpur Sahib resolution. Anandpur Sahib resolution is about greater autonomy to Punjab, same like how the Jammu Kashmir wanted for greater autonomy through Article 370. That was the Anandpur Sahib resolution, but of course it was not materialized. Later they went for the this Khalistani movement in 1982. In 1982, Bhindranwale, Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, he was a charismatic preacher and he claimed himself as authentic voice of the Sikh. He operated by keeping Golden Temple as a center, and the movement was geared towards the first articulated expression of implementation of Anandpur Sahib resolution. That means through Khalistani movement, they officially demanded for the implementation of Anandpur Sahib resolution. Along with this Khalistani movement, due to some other factors such as growing religious polarization, sectarian violence, and Bhindranwale's rhetoric speech, because of all these things, Government of India declared that this Khalistani movement is anti-national, and Government of India launched a mission to suppress this Khalistani movement. That was about the Khalistani movement story. Now, later, after the Operation Blue Star, what happened? Indira Gandhi was assassinated in 1984, same year. In response to that, so many Sikh families, they were targeted, they were being massacred, and it got support from various countries and across the various sections of the people. And later, that unfortunate incident was used by various political parties for their political gains, as well as due to some other issues such as unemployment, drugs problem, and dissatisfaction towards the government. Because of all these reasons, nowadays youth are again, they started attracting towards this Khalistani movement. Okay, recently Amritpal Singh, that incident we remembered what happened, what kind of complete mess up it was about. The present issues. So now, who was been killed? Hardeep Singh Nijjar was killed. He was a leader of Khalistan Tiger Force, and Canadian government claiming that Indian agents were behind that. Actually, Government of India's agency, that is National Investigating Agency, already declared 10 lakh reward on Nijjar because he conspired the murder of Hindu priest in Punjab Jalandhar. He was shot dead recently in this year outside of Gurudwara in Surrey. Next, this issue, the separatist leader who was been killed in Canada, this issue was even brought to the notice of Indian Prime Minister by Canadian Prime Minister on the sidelines of G20. In response to that, even the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji also, he expressed concerns regarding the anti-India activities which are carried out in Canada. That is the reason, if you remember, Canadian Prime Minister, he was not seen that much comfortable in and around the G20 summit. Okay? And the recent anti-India activities in Canada. Recently, certain rallies against India, and already told you previously that the journal which published content against Indira Gandhi, and they celebrated the Indira Gandhi's assassination, and recently openly the Canadian Prime Minister openly supported the rally in support of the Khalistan. So these are some of the events happening in Canada, and unfortunately that is affecting the India-Canada relations. Now let us look at the India-Canada relations. The India-Canada relations, actually the trade talks are going on between the India and Canada. These trade talks are supposed to give free trade agreement between the India and Canada, but the trade talks were delayed because of these political developments in recent days. And India is Canada's 10th largest trading partner. If you look at the entire Canada's external trade, it is about 1.52 trillion Canadian dollars. Out of that, the trade with India is 13.7 billion Canadian dollars. That is about the India-Canada trades. And the Indian government strongly expressed their remarks against Trudeau government and even we called the Canadian diplomats and ordered them to leave India within 5 days, because the government of India is having growing concern regarding the Canadian government interference in the internal matters of India and their indirect support towards the anti-Indian activities. Indian government was much concerned regarding these things. Next conclusion. It is about Indian government has to build a constructive and sustained engagement with Sikh diaspora across the globe. Whatever the fears they have, we should alleviate those fears, dispel the misinformation, propaganda done by the Khalistani separatists. We have to own them, the Sikh population, and we try to integrate into the decision-making process, especially in the region of Punjab. This is about the conclusion. Yesterday video, the question is consider the following and choose the correct code out of these 4 codes. Which one is right? First, the president can convene the session of the each house of the parliament. Right? He can prorogue both the houses. Yes. He can dissolve the Rajya Sabha. No. Only he can dissolve the Lok Sabha. He can dissolve the Lok Sabha. Right? So statements are 1 to 4. 1 to 4. Next. Which of the following statements are correct with reference to Singh Sabha movement? Read these 4 statements and tell me which statement is right. Mains question. Find out how Khalistani separatism and confrontation with the Indian government developed. How this confrontation developed. What tactics has the government employed? Government tactics. Explain how the Pakistani government attempt to sow unrest. The role of Pakistani government in Punjab. How it is happening. This is the Mains question. Now, as we reach to the end of this video, we will try to revise quickly. This video topic is all about India-Canada relation in the context of this Khalistani controversy and the killing of Sikh separatist leader. In this video, we discussed about why this particular issue was in news and how the Khalistani movement got evolved and the Singh Sabha movement, Akali movement, Anandpur Sahib resolution, the separate state of Punjab and Khalistani movement, Operation Blue Star, Operation Thunderbolt, and the Canadian government response in these days. And we also discussed about India-Canada relations in general and how that affected recent G20 sideline talks also we discussed. So this is the detailed analysis regarding the Khalistani movement and India-Canada relations.